Hey, what's going on, guys? Dave the Usher here. And at this year's E3, on June 15th, 2015, the 2015 E3, it was announced that Final Fantasy VII would be coming to the PlayStation 4. And not like this that you're seeing right now, not like one of the touch-ups, re-release kind of versions of Final Fantasy VII. No, this is a complete and total remake. And I'm sure everyone watching who's clicked this video and is now watching me and listening to me talk, hello, how are you? I'm sure everyone has seen the trailer that went along with the announcement at E3. And, as far as trailers go, it was pretty standard, typical stuff, You had some dude talking, and he said words, and you could see the slums of Midgar, and then you saw certain familiar someone and their sword, and, it wasn't much. It's pretty much what you expect with a kind of teaser trailer. But really, I mean, who even cares? No one even cares. There could be a total lack of a trailer, and you could just be like, hello, I'm a Square Enix guy, how are you? I'm standing here, I'm waving. Nice to see you all. Oh yeah, I just wanted to, I'm just enjoying this ice cream cone. And he could be like eating an ice cream cone, he could be like eating food, just be like passing by the stage, mumbling, kind of like, oh hey, yeah, Final Fantasy VII, a complete and total remake for the PS4, see you later. Yeah. Everyone would have reacted the same and freaked out. It didn't even need to be a trailer. But, it was nice for them to have a trailer, and, yeah, so that's gonna happen. PlayStation 4 exclusive? Or, I don't know. And if this game is gonna be a Sony Playstation 4 exclusive, oh man, there's gonna be a lot of PlayStation 4s sold in the near future, I would think. Because, a lot of Xbox people out there, I think, are, Final Fantasy fans too, and Final Fantasy games have been released for both platforms over the recent years, of course, right? And, woof. But hey, we'll see on that one. Right now, I'm just kind of casually playing the beginning of the Final Fantasy VII touch-up re-release. This is the Steam version. This is the version, I believe, that's going to be re-released for the PS4 this year. Hello, Cloud. How are you? Cloud's eyes blink. And, wow, this game starts off and 2 soldiers dead off the bat. You can steal potions from them. Isn't that nice? So I'm just gonna casually play through. Who cares? So, some of you, or actually the majority of you watching this probably already know me. Maybe some of you stumbled upon this video. I've been playing Final Fantasy games pretty much all my life. My first one was Final Fantasy II, Final Fantasy IV. The Super Nintendo version of Final Fantasy II for the SNES. Played that one before the first Final Fantasy game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah, that was a big favorite of mine, and yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy games ever since, The goods, the greats, the bads, the highs and the lows, everything, man. And of course, there's been highs and lows, but, that's how it goes with a big franchise, You could say that with Final Fantasy. I don't know, take a movie franchise. Gee, I don't know, Star Wars? I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, but I know that even a franchise like that has their ups and their downs. So that's just the way it goes, man. So once you saw the trailer, and yeah, it was pretty standard stuff with a dude talking, and he said words. There's a lot of word action there. Who cares, right? You were just kind of like listening to the music, and everyone was like kind of raising one eyebrow and wondering, what's going on here? I don't know. This almost seems familiar to me. Like, do I know what this is? What is going on? And then they kind of start with the music a little bit more, and then you recognize the music, and then you recognize what you see on the screen for sure, of course, because, you kind of recognize Midgar, I would think. And then you would see Cloud. They would show Cloud a little bit, and, you saw his Buster Sword, just walking through the slums. Like I said, the preview, the little trailer thing was nothing really. Who cares, right? But everyone was freaking out. Unfortunately, well, for me, I only caught the preview. I heard about it and then watched the preview. It's kind of unfortunate. I think the best way to watch that or to hear the news would be to be taken off guard, by surprise. Oh, they're playing another trailer. What's this? Oh my God, no way! And, you know, kind of freak out. So, you might be wondering, hey, Dave, since you're a big Final Fantasy fan, you know, you've done walkthroughs of so many Final Fantasy games, good ones and bad ones. At least I think, some bad ones. But am I freaking out? Am I excited? Dave, are you excited? And I'm going to ask you guys, of course, are you excited too in your opinions on the matter at hand? But am I excited? Yeah, sure, I'm excited. I'm excited. It really seems like they just, they take all of the good ideas from the 1980s and the 1990s, kinda, right? You know? Cartoon-wise, video game-wise, you know, some movie-wise stuff, I don't know. A lot of great things came out of the 80s and 90s, I feel, you know? My kid generation, I'm 32 years old right now, currently. But, you know, it's about time. I think it's great that they're doing this. So now that this is happening, you know, what else is on the old re-release bucket list? They're probably gonna do, you know, eventually, of course, they'll have to do an HD release. An HD release, yeah, of Final Fantasy XII. That's gotta happen. That'll probably be next, too. What about another game? What about another pretty classic game? Final Fantasy VI. You know, there's been those 3DS remakes, like 4 and stuff, but never with 6. Nothing going on with 6. And 6 is a pretty beloved Final Fantasy game. Definitely, I mean, even more so than my personal favorite of Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI was the Super Nintendo. RPG, Super Nintendo, Final Fantasy VI. Beating out 4, beating out Chrono Trigger, beating out Secret of Mana, beating out Mario RPG. Final Fantasy VI, nothing beat it on the Super Nintendo. Well, let's not talk about that right now. We're talking about Final Fantasy VII. We're talking about Final Fantasy VII, and I am excited. I'm pretty excited. It'll be cool. People ask me, hey, are you excited about Final Fantasy 15, Dave? And I say to them, you know, if they ask me on a video or my social media pages, stuff like that, I say, you know, man, I try not to get excited anymore. Like, I don't know. Am I too old? Is 32 even old? I'd like to think not, but I also I never try and set myself up because, well, personally for me, in my opinion, I was just tremendously disappointed with the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy. I didn't like it, and, you know, that's me. I didn't like it, you know? And RPGs are kind of, I don't know, man. It's getting harder with this next generation releases of role-playing games on, like, PlayStation 4 or the Nintendo Wii and, like, Xbox. I don't know. I think a lot of RPGs do better on the 3DS lately. I think the 3DS is kind of taken over RPG-wise just because of the way it's built and set up for things. I think it's just been having more success. The more, like, real these RPG games get, I don't know, it could be a whole Japanese role-playing games to Western role-playing games and the differences, and now these differences are becoming just more apparent with how things look nowadays. And, you know, you're gonna play Final Fantasy 13, or you're gonna play like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, or, you know, stuff like that. You know, they're kind of like action role-playing type, that kind of thing. And you know, the whole open world category is starting to take over. So I don't know, things aren't the same, you know? You're looking at this game right now, and a remake is definitely going to be a remake. I mean, are we going to be jumping over the gap in the remake? Is that going to be part of it? Is everything going to look the same? Are we going to be climbing down the ladder in the Mako reactor just like in the remake as with the original game? Probably not, no, because this is going to be a remake. This is not an HD release. So I'm totally expecting, you know, things to be just completely different in so many ways. We're not going to be climbing down the same ladders. Things won't look exactly the same from screen to screen, you know? You know, of course, there's some iconic screens in certain places, and it'll have, like, the same kind of vibe and feel to it. What about the battles, you know, the random battles? gonna be magic, there's gonna be materia, of course. We know that. Will the battles be like this? Turn-based, of course, and just kind of the same setup? I kind of hope so. I kind of hope so, actually. And what about the music? What about the music? You know, for me personally, I was a big fan of Final Fantasy X's HD remastered soundtrack. I was a big fan of that. And I was a bit cautious at first when I heard about it. I was like, I don't know. And in the PS4 version, not the PS3 version, they give you the option of using the original or the HD remastered version, which I think's a nice touch-up. Will they probably do that in the remake of Final Fantasy VII? Probably not. But since, I actually kind of have high hopes for that, and I think that'll probably go real well. I don't know. Just because I was not disappointed with Final Fantasy X's remastered version, you know? I just thought it was really cool. The game was touched up. The HD remastered version of Final Fantasy X really did look good too, by the way, you know? It looked good, and it had a new kind of touched up soundtrack to it. I thought it was appropriate. I thought it worked. So I think that'll be fun. I don't think us crazy, insane nut bar fans have to. I can't even equip that yet. I don't think us crazy nut bar Final Fantasy fans have to worry about that. I think that'll be just fine. You know, just as long as they bring back. Hopefully, they can bring back a lot of the old crew. The old crew that worked on the original Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I guess. Hopefully a lot of the crew comes back. I mean, I really don't think anything was announced besides the showing of that trailer, and I think that's it. You know, I tried to read up a little bit before I did this video. I don't think there was anything else. Just like, all right, Final Fantasy VII Remake. That was like the last word on the screen of that trailer. Remake. I guess they wanted to make sure that everyone understood that, okay, listen, we're not just gonna show this fun little thing. Hey, look what the PS3 can do. Look what it's capable of. It could have a game that looked like this. No. Don't be confused this time, guys. This is Remake. This is a complete and total remake. So, I don't think there's any confusion, and I don't think there's any more information. And of course, information will trickle out from the 15th onward till the day this remake is released, right? Hey, look, I'm fighting this thing. How you doing? If I yap on, I probably won't go on too much longer to let the reactor explode within the 10-minute, is it 10-minute time limit? No. We'll probably wrap things up here pretty soon. But, am I excited? You know, once again, yeah, I'm excited. I'm still not gonna hold my breath. Well, I'm more excited about this Square Enix project than anything else on its horizon. That's for sure, Final Fantasy 15. You know, with games like that, I just kinda, especially after the 13 trilogy, I like to call it, I just wait and see. I'm just like, alright, release your game, I'll play it. You know, I'll always be a Final Fantasy fan no matter what, damn it. You can release Final Fantasy 13 Part 5. Oh dear. I'll probably still get it. Who knows? You never know when some awesome game might come out, man. Even though there's been maybe a couple disappointments. But Square Enix has a lot of projects, you know, both on consoles and the 3DS, man, you know? The Bravely Default, you know, series. There's Bravely Second. It's gonna be coming out. You know, I'm kind of into those games myself. I'm doing a walkthrough that kind of got pushed to the side as I've been getting distracted in my personal life, but oh, who cares about my personal life right now? Final Fantasy VII Remake's coming out, man. And yeah, I'm excited. Probably more excited about this than any other thing on the horizon. There's, I'd say, this has been, I'm gonna almost get killed maybe. I would say that this is a pretty exciting E3. You know, a lot of exciting trailers. And yeah, I still kind of wonder if this is going to be a PS4 exclusive. And if it is, there's going to be a lot of PS4s sold in the future. So what do you guys think? what are your thoughts? You know, I'm excited. I really am excited. I think the game will be good. Real quick, one thing that might kind of scare me is that whole, remember Final Fantasy Advent Children? And I'm sure I'm just kind of being, I don't know if I'm overreacting, but, you know, that thing was a mess and silly and ridiculous. And now, you know, you kind of have a little bit of a fear that the game might resemble that in any way, shape, or form. And I hope not. But from that trailer, it didn't kind of seem like it, did it? I don't know, it just kind of had a sense of, it looked real. It kind of had this sense of realism, and it did look really nice, I gotta tell you. So if you haven't seen it yet, by the way, you might want to go watch that. 10 minutes. I'll stand still for 10 minutes. No, I don't think this is going to go on for 10 minutes. So, I just hope that this remake has no similarities, doesn't have a feel like Advent, you know, an Advent Children feel. You know, that little movie that came out like so many years ago. And I'm sure that we don't have to have those fears, because I'm sure it won't at all. You know, it was so long ago already now. So we don't have to worry about that, I think. But what about you guys? Are you excited? Who's excited? Who's a Final Fantasy fan but doesn't have a PS4? And if this is a PS4 exclusive only, will you get a PS4 just for this game? You know, not even like Steam or anything like that. I wouldn't think so. No, I'm just PS4 only, man, only. Would you get a PS4 just to get this game? You know, being like a Square Enix Final Fantasy kind of fan that's just been buying the games for like the Xbox 360 and One and stuff. Would you get this system? But other than that, are you excited about this remake, man? Give me your comments. You know, some of you have been following me since 2008. That's when I've been doing my walkthroughs, February of 2008, and my first Final Fantasy walkthrough was, man, I'm not sure if I even know anymore if it was Final Fantasy 4 or 6. I think it was 6, but I really don't even know anymore. I think I did Chrono Trigger before both of them. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how it's been going lately, and I think after Final Fantasy 13, after they released those couple games, I feel like, you know, and it's taken them so long to come out with Final Fantasy 15, you know, so long that it's changed names and, like, Versus 13 and this and that. Alright, you know, we're just gonna call this 15. That game has been, like, in the works for, like, several years, hasn't it? When was that game first announced? Oh, man, that's crazy. So, I think it's about time. They're like, you know what? Even though they're very arrogant about Final Fantasy 13, you know, they wouldn't back down saying that it was not a disappointment in their eyes, but come on. I think enough's enough, and it's about time. I think the time is definitely right. More right than, yeah, aren't you glad now? Aren't you glad that they didn't do a remake for the PS3? And they're doing it for this PS4 now. Of course, in several years or whatever, in 10-ish years, we'll be saying, oh man, I wish they held out. It would have been great to have this remake for the PS5, right? In my current Final Fantasy X HD Remastered PS4 walkthrough, PS4 version, I was saying, you know, it's only a matter of time before they re-release Final Fantasy X again for the Sony Playstation 5 or 6. And it'll be called Final Fantasy X HD Remastered 360 version. No, not the Xbox 360. I'm talking about 360, as in 360 degrees, as in you can just move your character about, you know, like in a Final Fantasy 13 type of world setting, where you can just move and turn the, you know, the camera 360 style. Because I made comments how, you know, Spira, in that game, the world of Spira is a cool place, and it would be great to just be like in Kilika or Luca or Besaid, Mount Gagazet, and just to have the ability to 360 yourself around and just see all the angles, because that game is a pretty nice, beautiful game, especially HD remastered up, right? That would be pretty cool. So it's only a matter of time. So, what about Final Fantasy VII being remade for the PS4? And it's only a matter of time probably before it's remade for the Sony Playstation 10, right? And it's just gonna keep on happening. And that's why I said, I feel like all these great ideas from the 80s and 90s, video game-wise, movie, you know, media-wise, they'll just keep on coming back, you know? Have all the good ideas been used, you know? And if they have, oh well, you know, let's keep on remaking them. Because these great ideas, they're gonna be, you know, these great games, these great movies, these great shows, whatever, they're gonna be around longer than all of us, man. They're gonna be around longer than all of us. We're gonna have Final Fantasy VII remade for the Sony Playstation 28 when we're all dead, you know? And why not? Why shouldn't it? Don't we want our children's children to see, you know, these awesome games that we love so much, you know? Don't we want another Transformers movie, and maybe someday they'll get it right? The first time you played this back in '97, I was there opening day, you know? I went to the mall, which had an electronics boutique, and picked it up. I even got my pre-order Final Fantasy VII shirt. That's somewhere around here. I gotta find it. Gotta pick that up, man. Gotta find it. No, but I got the game, I brought it home. This is like middle school Dave, you know? I was in middle school at the time. I was around, I don't know, like 14 years old, 13, 14. Teenage Dave. So excited, you know? After Final Fantasy VI, us Final Fantasy fans were waiting so long, and we thought Final Fantasy VII was going to come out on the Nintendo 64, and then it was the Sony Playstation, and, you know, new consoles were happening. New consoles were happening. We were going from the bit wars of Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and then we were seeing things like Super Mario on the Nintendo 64, Mario 64, you know, we were seeing things like that, Mario coming to 3D, and we were freaking out. It was a new age of video games, folks. It was a new age, a new generation. It was insane. Nintendo 64, the Sony Playstation, it was the new age. And is that happening now again? Probably, you know, it's probably not as big a deal now with like Xbox One, Sony Playstation 4. Probably not that big of a thing, a transitional generation type of thing. I'd say, you know, when the Wii was coming out, you know, maybe that was like the last one for now. Because that kind of brought a lot of excitement, I thought, you know. PS3, the Xbox 360, and like the Wii. This newer one with the Xbox One and the Sony PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Wii U. Well, you know, this generation is very exciting. I don't think it has the same. This is kind of just like, all right, we keep on going up and up and up. I don't think it has the same level of excitement, especially the same level of excitement as transitioning from the bit days of Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis to like Sony PlayStation and Nintendo 64. I know I'm babbling and ranting and getting a little sidetracked and off topic a little bit, but you know, this is what it's all about. You know, it all it comes together. It's all related, I think, you know. So we'll look back, maybe, and we'll think of this generation of like Xbox One and PlayStation 4 as, you know, once again, the great games, the great classics coming out once more, being re-released, and this time on the PlayStation 4, and maybe that'll make what the PlayStation 4, you know, special. It'll make the PS4 a little more special. It really will, right? When we think back to it. When we think back to it, we'll think, well, you know, the PS4 was special for that reason, for this reason. Hey, it had Final Fantasy VII, the remake. Yeah, and if I didn't have a PS4, and being the Final Fantasy fan I was, and it was only released on the PS4, I'd get a PS4, dude. How could you not? How could you not? Put aside your differences. Anyone who's like a fanboy of a certain system. You know, and some of you, you know, when I was a kid, I was like that. We had our day, and you have yours for the younger people, and actually the older people too. What's wrong with you older people? Come on, you're too old to get into silly debates of Sony and Microsoft. But anyway, I had my day of, you know, claiming the SNES and was so much better than the Genesis, and you know that stuff will continue on forever. But once again, folks, you know, let's wrap it up here. I'm totally ranting and going on. I haven't eaten my breakfast and had my coffee yet, so hey, give me a break. But Final Fantasy VII Remake for the Sony Playstation 4, I'm real excited. I'd like to think all you guys are excited too. And yeah, just leave me your comments. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you're excited. Tell me anything. Tell me if you've heard any more trickles of information ever since the big announcement, which is less than a day ago, as you can see with the posting date of this video. But hey, some of you may come here at a later date, and that's fine. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feelings. I think this is nuts. I think this is crazy. I think this made E3. This and a couple of other things, according to you know, people's opinions, I'm sure. But yeah, this is up there. This is up there with probably the biggest news out of this year's E3. Good stuff, guys. Other than that, I would like to get back to my walkthrough of Final Fantasy VII, the PC touch-up remake game. And if you'd like to check that out, the playlist is in the video description, as well as the playlist to my old Final Fantasy VII walkthrough that I did in, when did I do it? 2009? It was some time ago. I went all out. I went all out in that walkthrough. I really did. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII, one of my most favorite games of all time, and I'm very happy that they're releasing it again for the PS4 as a remake. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed my silly rants and ravens and babblings and talks. And that's it, guys. So, you know, you can follow me on my social media pages, and I'm Dave the Usher. I'll see you guys next time. I am out.